Hi, Julie Torrance here. I've got my Kincaid art journal. It's an altered book, and we're going to be doing another color challenge. So the colors are teal and purple. Now I have this color that's called teal, but if you can see, it is so dark. And I just thought, now, oh, you know what? It isn't teal. I apologize. It's turquoise. So I thought, well, this to me looks like a turquoise. And so I'm just going to see, maybe I have to mix the two. I don't know, but we'll see. So I've got that going. I've got my black, my white. I have dioxazine purple, which is dark, dark, but it's a great color. So I've got those. We can use black and white with the challenge. And then I do have, this is called light portrait pink, because I'm going to be making some abstract people. So I want this for the faces. And then we're allowed one metallic. So I picked this gold, give it a shake, and it's just called gold, and it is a Martha Stewart, came in a pack, it was set. So let's get started. All right, so I'm going to start off with this teal. And what I thought we would do is what I call the negative space painting. I'm just going to put some teal. I want to get that on there. Grab an acrylic brush. I'm going to wet it just so that the bristles are damp. I'm stomping it off here. And let's get some teal going. This is a Jane Davenport color. And I like these paints because they dry really fast and they dry very matte. The more matte an acrylic is, to me, the easier it is to layer on top of it, especially other mediums. Acrylic on top of acrylic, I generally don't have a problem with. But when you're doing acrylic and then you're trying to use maybe alcohol markers on top, like a Sharpie or something, sometimes it's just a little too plasticky when it's all shiny. But the Jane Davenport paint, it is old. Not old like I wish I didn't have to use it. It's fine. It's fresh. But now she has her paints manufactured by a totally different company. This is done by American Crafts. She's not with them anymore. So to tell you any more about it, it's really kind of moot because you can't get this exact tube of paint. But you can go to her website, janedavenport.com. She's got some really cool new paints out that are like a colored gesso. I haven't tried them yet. They look interesting, but I have enough paint right now. I'm not going to add more. I think I've gone high enough, but maybe not. So I'm going to keep going with the teal because my figures are going to be, this way. But I'd rather have too much than not enough. So I'm just going to go ahead and give the whole thing a nice fresh coat of teal on top of the gesso. The gesso makes the paint go on just like velvet and protects the paper underneath. This isn't acrylic paper. This is an altered book. All right, that's great. I'm going to rinse this off. And now I'm going to start putting the decorations of their robes. When I saw this color combination on the announcement of what the color combination was going to be this month, royalty came right to my mind. Now, I know a lot of people, especially those in the US, were thinking Mardi Gras, and that makes a lot of sense, but I've never been to Mardi Gras, so, I've got some Poscas also. I don't really have a teal, so I've got two kinds of blue. We'll just see how that works. I've got a purple, and then I have a black and a white. So, time to decorate. All right, I think I'm going to start with this darker teal. And I'm just going to be doing random marks that's going to become the royalty robes. So, And this is called turquoise. To me, if I was mixing my own turquoise, this seems a little on the green side to me, but you know, who knows? We're just going to go with it. All right, let's get a nice round brush. Should I get my favorite brush? Sure, why not? Wet it, dab it off, and I'm just going to start with some random marks. There's a little water on my ferrule, and I'm happy to have it go right into the paint because this is awfully, awfully thick. And I just want it to be just a little bit more fluid. You can add up to 25% water to an acrylic paint, and the binder should still work fine. And it, you know, if it's a fluid paint like this, or it doesn't matter, 25%. You really don't want to take it down more than that. All right, I think I'll just start with some dots, random dots all over. Yep, I like that. So how are you? I hope your day is going well. I had a big day yesterday, a lot of fun. I went to a local to me high school, about a half-hour drive. It's in a little town closer to the water, but cute town. And what a lovely public high school, just fantastic. And I talked to 6th grade and 7th grade students about art journaling. And it was marvelous. It was just wonderful. So that was my yesterday. The young people, very sweet spirits, seemed interested, asked good questions, which is one of the things I use for a gauge if what I was doing was something that was catching interest. Not a lot of coughing, not a lot of yawning, not a lot of talking out of turn, nothing like that. So yeah, I think it went well. The talk, I mean, we kept it short. I took about maybe eight art journals with me, some that I'm working in currently, some that I've finished, just to give them a taste of what an art journal means to me. Plus, some of my art journals go back 5-6 years. And so they can just see how my art has evolved. Talked about what I see as the importance of art journaling, especially if you're considering to keep art as maybe a career, or maybe you know want to be an illustrator, painter, whatever it is. Art journaling is just such a good way that you can get good practice. You can get that hand-eye coordination, all the things I talked to you about, I talked to them about. Haven't really been in a high school classroom in quite a while, at least 10 years and probably more. Have things changed? Well, certainly. But the art room looked like a typical high school art room, and they had 3 art rooms. They had a ceramic kiln that was as big as a refrigerator. It was just marvelous. There's supplies, Copic markers, you know, not just alcohol markers, Copic markers, not just acrylic paint pens, Posca pens. So, you know, that was just refreshing to see that the school is obviously budget-wise, or, you know, maybe they're gifts from the city. I have no idea, but just quality supplies. And as I was observing the teachers, no one seemed to be, you know, say, you know, spare this, you know, be careful how you use. No. They were just having the freedom to do as their hearts desired, and it was wonderful to see. It really was. Okay, so I think I've got a good amount of these dots. I'm going to get a few more. Got some spaces here and there, here and there. So have you been working in your art journal? I had a series going. I think there may be, well, I don't know. I think the last video is up on the series so far. And I think I'm just going to kind of leave it where it is. I think that new people coming into any YouTube channel may find that something like that series could be helpful. It's working in your art journals 10 minutes or less. Just try to make it accessible when it seems so hard to maybe get into your art journal or do some art every day. I think it's important for many, many reasons. And I enjoy it. I am right now, this is so relaxing to me, and you're probably thinking, yeah, I'm practically hypnotized watching you just put all these dots on. But hey, I think I'm going to have this family, the adults, more on this side of the page, on the left to me, left side. So I'm bringing the dots up just a little bit more. Okay. See, I say okay, and then I find a few more places that look like they could use some more. It's the way it goes with me, I'm afraid. Okay. Let's get some other marks going on. I still want to keep the acrylic going for right now, so I'm going to go ahead and get the gold. They are royalty, right? So have some gold thread, gold embellishments on their robes, I would think is a possibility. And I think I'm just going to make some little X's. I think this looks fun. I like the color on a color. You know, just kind of like that, a white on white. It's kind of a turquoise on a turquoise. I like that. Got a little puddle of water there. I think that was maybe something that fell off of my brush. I hope you can see the gold. I know that the metallics can, depending on the way the light's hitting them at any given time, sometimes they just show up as a shimmer. Sometimes you can really see them. And I'm trying to remember the edges, the corners. Don't just work in the middle. I didn't really have a specific plan in mind on how I would decorate these robes, but when I put the all over dots, I kind of like it. So I thought, okay, let's keep that going. You know, instead of making circles over here, squares over there. But however you want to do it, if you decide to do a project like this. There's already been some people that have taken up the challenge. I know of one YouTube video already out there about it. So if you head over to the PM Artists Studios Facebook group, which is, oh boy, mixed media, something, something. I'm looking around if I've got their card right here. I will link. I'm pretty good about linking them up when I'm doing it. And PM Artist Studios has also a YouTube channel. Lots of learning. They're the company that makes art supplies. They do stencils, masks. I know they've got some other thoughts on some other directions they're going to be going soon. So, you know, to get this, you know, it's a mother and daughter team. If you decide to take a look and maybe become a part of the group that we have. It is a friendly group. I've been in a lot of YouTube groups over the years, and this is, no kidding, one of the kindest, friendliest groups I've ever been in. There's not snarky comments, not that I've ever seen. Not people being overly critical, and yet very helpful, constructive criticisms or comments. Just, and especially if someone asks a question, you know, what, maybe they'll show a project in progress, and they'll ask for, you know, direction. I feel kind of stuck, and yeah, people very kindly, very helpful. Sometimes you feel almost intimidated in some groups to ask a question, because instead of looking at it as maybe a question that if this person had the courage and had the question on their mind enough to ask it, that there could even be other people with the same question. You know what I mean? Just, you want to be friendly, be kind. And so far, I've been in this group for a while. Yeah, I like it. A lot of YouTubers are in there, so you might find other people to follow that are doing similar. And really, there's a variety of us. You'll find a lot of different techniques and styles. Consider it. What have you got to lose? If you want to become a part of the group, there is a little bit of a vetting process. They really want to, and they've done a good job in keeping people who are just people who want to spam, or people who want to put scams up, just advertise who knows what. You don't have a, you don't, if there's any of it, I've never seen it. They do live streams on YouTube 3 times a week. Very educational. I've learned a lot. Different ways of using stencils and masks, for one thing. But just acrylic paint and art supplies in general. I mean, if they're using an art supply that they don't make or sell or whatever, they're right there with the links to, so that you can jump on board to whatever's the project they're working on, no hesitation. Which is supporting other small businesses as well. Take a look at their website. Okay, what do you think? I'm sure there's places that could use a little more, but hey, I'm liking this. I'm really liking this. Good, okay. So, maybe use a little white. We're allowed to use white and black, and I think white would be nice. I seem to be awfully generous in the amount of paint I'm putting on my palette. I want to be a little more mindful of that. I'm going to give the turquoise color a squirt of water over the whole thing, just to help keep it a little more fluid. Okay, what else with the white? Maybe just lines. Like that. Obviously, it's not a repeating pattern that I'm making. And the left side may have the same marks, but not all in the same places. That's what makes it fun to me. And you know, you could do this with painting through a stencil. You could do this, which I will be using my Poscas in this in a moment. I just wanted to get just some hand acrylic. I think it has a real organic feel. Tell me what you think in the comments. And let me know, what are you doing in your art journal? Have any of you started your Valentine projects, if you're going to be doing any Valentine projects? I don't really know across the globe how big Valentine's is. I wouldn't say it's a huge thing here. I think people pay more attention and throw parties and things for like St. Patrick's Day here in West Michigan. Now, when I was in Arizona, if St. Patrick's Day was a thing, I wasn't aware of it. It was all about the end of February in Tucson, and it was rodeo days. So, you know, I realized that in the same country, in the same edge of the world, you know, even there, different emphasis on different quote unquote holidays. I think some places keep Valentine's Day more for children, but I know husbands and wives that already have their reservations for a nice Valentine's Day dinner. So whatever you feel compelled to do. Now it looks to me like I've got a heavier concentration of the marks in the middle and kind of drifting off towards the edges. Not atypical of what I do. I tend to not get my edges as full as my middle, so I'm gonna probably go back, and not that they have to be the same, but I think the more that you work this part of the project, for me, I like the end results better. The more marks I have. Honestly, it almost, for me, seems like you need nearly a ridiculous amount of marks for it to really have an impact when you do the second part of this. Look, way over here, I don't know if you can see that, but I think you can. I have like almost no white. Well, what are you thinking? Have you started your supper yet? I went to the grocery store yesterday, but I had after I was done with the 2 classes, the teacher that I was working with, she had her lunch backed up against a planning period. So we went just down the street to a gorgeous little cafe and had lunch. She told me about, though, another coffee shop. I think she said they may have sandwiches. I don't remember. But the part I remember is it is like set up for artists, and there's room. You can do sketching, you can do painting, you can do whatever you want. She said they even have some art supplies that they sell, and people are there knitting, crocheting, doing watercolor, sketching, all kinds of things, and sipping coffee and visiting. And so I want to go back and find that spot, because that just sounds like an awful lot of fun to me. Okay, what do you think? I think we've got a really nice start here. Okay, I just thought of something. The way I have this set up, it's as if their heads, there's not going to be pattern behind or around, but really for their hair and stuff, I do want it. So I'm going to add some more. Start out with the dots, and I'm going to bring it up. Bring it up some more. And if you want to just kind of speed through this, I understand. I may even just go ahead and edit some of this out so that you're not just watching too much repetition. I mean, obviously, I would think you've got the hang of what I'm doing right now. Oh. So is it winter where you are still? We have reached that point where our days are getting longer. They're still, the nights are still dominant, but I want to say it's like maybe 45 seconds or a minute a day that it goes up. We still have from the blizzard some snow piles, but some of those snow piles were, no kidding, 8 foot tall. So there's still just remnants of the big blizzard that we had a couple of weeks ago. It was just right before Christmas. We were still driving in blizzardy conditions on Christmas Day. And we're in just starting the second week in January. Now, do I think it's going to be here till May? No. As a matter of fact, I think tomorrow it may be in the 40s, 40-degree Fahrenheit, which 32 is freezing. So anything over 32, you're going to have some melting. Going good. You know, I'm going to turn this around. And I believe I will still stay where you can see. Yeah. And I think it'll go faster this way for me. Because that reaching. Now I've got the blue dots pretty close together. And what I was thinking is I may just switch to having the gold and the white just be dots too. I'm not sure. We'll see. All right, well, I think I will come back when this is all patterned up. See you in a jiff. Okay, welcome back. So I finished getting the pattern down there. It hasn't been just but a moment. I went and grabbed a rubber stamp, and I've got black ink, staying within the idea. And this is a French, and it's supposed to be botanical, and it's like cursive writing. But I just thought that might be kind of cool here and there on the royal family. And then I get a different spot. think just right here. Add a little more. All right, that looks good to me. I'm gonna set this aside. I was able to get some of that overrun of that teal paint. Okay, so my royal family. Well, I'm going to start with the king, the queen, and maybe some children. So let's see, how dry are we? Well, dry enough. So let's get him. And I'm just, you may not even be able to see this, but I'm just getting like a basic shape, because when I do the negative painting, I want to know kind of where I'm going. Okay, so there's his head. Give her. And I think I'm going to give her just a little bit of shape. And then I'm going to add, I didn't even put her all the way down, child. And then small child. Good. And I think the children, I'm going to give that kind of a princess or prince kind of a cone hat. All right, I think we've got some good start. I think mom is going to have a bun in her hair. And then maybe dad, probably just maybe a little something down there. We'll leave him be. And the children, no, we're going to let them be. All right. So I realize you probably can't see that, but it helps me, and you'll see right now we're going to start filling it in. So here is that pink color. And I got to tell you, for this Artist Loft Professional, which is the Michaels brand, this stuff it's good paint. At least that tube is. All right. So faces. Start with the king. Now, if this doesn't cover completely and you can still see like the remnants of the background, that's fine. I just think that adds even more interest and beauty to the whole thing. I really do. Okay, there's dad, the king. And then here's mom. Now her hair is going to be more like that. There's mom's face, and then I left mom just a little bit of a neckline. Yep. Good. Child number 1. And child number 2. Okay. Does that kind of help you sort of see sort of where I'm going with all this? All right. Now, Mom and Dad are going to have crowns. Rinse this brush out, rinse this brush out. Got a couple of brushes going in here. Let me get this one a double rinse. There we go. And there we go. Okay. So, crowns. Mostly, I want to get the dad's crown in because I want to know where to, again, to put the negative painting. So let's get the gold. And it's not going to be complicated. There's Dad's crown. And then Mom. Maybe hers is more a shape like this. And then no crowns for the children. All right, good. Now the fun begins. Now, before I get all this paint gone, can you see where Mom's hair, maybe you can, maybe you can't. Mom's hair goes up higher than I put the pattern. Oh, way too wet. So I am just going to put some of these dots up here in her hair. And we get some of that teal color. I think I can still get enough up off of this paper plate. Oh, way too wet. I knew it was wet because I was trying to reconstitute this paint a little bit. Let's see. A little paper towel, and there we go. I think that'll work out fine. Just kind of leave it alone for a little bit. All right. Okay, now comes the fun part. At least to me it is. Dioxazine purple. And watch when I put this on this plate. Isn't that dark? Wow. Okay, we'll set that right there. And we're going to start filling in. Now I'm going to use a smaller brush to do what's kind of like the cutting in. And you're going to start seeing the royal family come to life. If you are interested, let me know in the comments about that coffee shop, and I can, at the very least, get some pictures up in the community page of my channel. I can show you a little bit what it's like. Let me know if that's something that would be interesting to you. I'm concentrating a little bit. I'm sorry if I'm getting quiet. Can you start to see any bit of this yet? I'm going to wet my brush a little bit. I really like the richness of this purple. I think it's what really speaks, at least for me, to royalty. I like adding the words there. I think that really added a lot to their clothing, their robes. Let's see, here's that pointy hat. It makes me start to think about, what does their castle look like? Do they have horses? Do they have a lot of staff? Are they dressed up for an occasion? Or is this just their everyday clothes? Who's really in charge? The queen or the king? Or do they handle that equitably? I think there's usually one or the other that is truly the one in charge. But I've never lived anywhere where we had a king and a queen, so I'm not really sure. Okay, how are we doing? Oh, I'm liking this. I'm liking this a lot. I hope that you are. All right, I'm going to just get the rest of this purple off of this brush, and then I can start filling in with a bigger brush. How big? That's the question. This big, I think. We'll give it a go. Let's see. Oh, I didn't do around her hair. Well, let's just see. How hard can it be? Let me know in the comments if you've taken any of these color challenges, and if you have, and if there's a way that you can let me know how I can see, like if you have it on Facebook or if you have it on Instagram. I would love to see your art. Oh, I would love it. Truly. Let me know. Now you might be thinking, look at all that turquoise she wasted. No. For one thing, I believe when the purple dries, you're going to see some of this. I don't think it's going to look the same as if I was working on just plain white gesso. One more scoop and then I think I can put some more paint out. Dries fast. Okay. I'm going to put it right on my work here. Almost took her hair out. I'm going to get that little brush back again because I need to go around his crown too. No need to be hasty. I'm concentrating. Can you tell? All right, see if we can do without this clip for a minute. Okay. All right, I need to tidy up her hair and his crown. So that really doesn't have much purple left in it, and I'm going back to that littler brush. Get the water off of it. And I may just work right out of the tube for just this little bit that we have. I'm sorry if my arm is now in your way, but I'll get this done as quick as I can. All right, I think that looks good. And him, you know, I realize this takes a minute, but I'm going to turn this book around. Upside down goes the royal family. And sir, hold still. Shouldn't take too long now that I've got it this way. I may even put another coat of the gold. Her crown, oh, I guess it could use another coat too. All right, let's get a little closer here. Aren't they fun? Let me know in the comments if you think they're fun. I'm bringing the crown right here, just a little bit further down. There we go. And I want to straighten up this one edge. Okay. How we doing? Have I missed any place? Are you hollering out to me? His gown or robe goes right off the page here, but I'm just going to clean up his edge. And I'm going to clean this up in here too. Oh, I'm seeing. this paper that I'm working on, it's not exactly flat because it's an altered book. And then sometimes, because I've turned the book around, I'm looking at the other side of the peaks and valleys, and I can see places that I didn't see before that look like they need some work. Okay. Da 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 da. There's our royal family. And now we're going to add just some details. I'm going to get these brushes out of the water. That dioxazine purple, that's a strong color. So we want to get that out of the brush before it ends up taking over whatever I'm going to do next. Okay. All right. Now. Okay. I think the next thing I'm going to do is, I wonder if I even have a smaller brush. I think I do. I don't know how. Oh, we'll give it a try. It's a white synthetic. Get into this gold and give the crowns just a little bit more oomph. Not precision, just a little gold on their heads. I think that helped. Now, I was thinking about for Mother, or the Queen, or I was going to just give her like some kind of a bauble that she's wearing, and give this a gold edge like it's a necklace. Now, what would the king? Maybe he'd have kind of like a gold chain, perhaps. Maybe something like this. Heavy links. It may sort of blend into the whole scheme of things, but it may not. We'll just see. I'm having it raise up just a little bit over his shoulder. And I think the children look just fine. All right. Now I could leave them blank-faced, just like this. And I think they would look cool. I've got all these Poscas here, but honestly, other than just maybe a few details to their faces, I don't think I'm going to be using a whole lot of Posca. Oh, I know what I wanted to do. And I did want to do this after I had placed the purple, is for these children's hats. Just like, like a ribbon. And maybe this one, it's so little, maybe there's kind of a bow here. The gold is just about out on that paper plate. Let's get some right from the lid. made 2 little circles there. Has the hat tied on a little bit, and then a second ribbon and a second ribbon. Oh, that's cute. Okay. Good, good. Now, I'm going to give them some faces, but just very, very basic. And let's start shaking it. Black Posca. Good. Good. Oh, Daddy needs a nose. Kind of a regal royal nose. And we'll give baby blue eyes. This one, blue eyes. Mommy blue eyes. And Daddy blue eyes. Oh my. I just think they're cute. Baby. Little smile. This one, just maybe a little dot. Mother. A little smile like that. And Dad. He's still serious, you know. The king, for crying out loud. Okay, baby. Little eyelashes. Young child little eyelashes. Mama eyelashes. Daddy eyebrows. Well, there is our teal and gold and white and black. I guess they're faces. That's where I took a little liberty, didn't I? But I think it's fun. It came out better than it did in my mind. Give it a sign. Thank you so much for joining me. Thanks for hanging in there this long. Please consider hitting the like button before you leave. Subscribe. It helps my channel so much. I hope you enjoyed this. Let me know in the comments what you think. And I'm going to be looking for you in another video. Bye now.